Hello, everyone. Adrian Groenewald, Me Vision Academy. And it's my privilege to do yet another purpose discussion with a great leader all the way from the US. Before I introduce him, our purpose at Me Vision Academy is, in fact, to help individuals discover and lead with their purpose and then prosper. We believe those two go together, the two P's, purpose and prosper. However you want to define both of those. So we're on a journey to meet individuals who have discovered their purpose all over the world in different industries and sectors on different levels, and to have them share their stories and hopefully it inspires others to find or discover their purpose. With me today is Owen Power, founder and CEO of Owen Bradley Power LLC. He also calls himself, I don't know if that's a common name. For me, it's an interesting one, fractional CFO. As I said, all the way from the US, he'll tell us more. Owen, it's good to have you here. Thank you for joining us.
Good to be with you again, Adrian.
Owen, we'll ask you what your purpose is in a few minutes. But before we get that, just tell me why you think purpose is important.
It's foundational for me. It's something that evolved over time, and we'll talk about that. But I really saw that come to fruition as I was appointed as a chief executive officer of a growing company. I had introduced a why statement, and I found that it made a significant difference as we grew and developed our people and changed the culture of the company. So from a business point of view, I think it's essential. But from an individual point of view, I feel that is absolutely critical. Over the years, I've kind of observed how, as folks get older and suddenly they stop doing things, they stop, a job or doing something that they're passionate about, and their life seems to slip away really quickly. They go from being vibrant one month, and a few months later, they're not around. And I've always subscribed that to somehow they just lost their purpose, a reason to get up in the morning. So absolutely a foundational thing for all of us in our lives.
Would you say that if someone is a technical expert somewhere in their career, which is how most of us start our careers, I mean, you start as an accountant and then, things evolve. But if you're an accountant or an engineer and you truly discover your purpose, do you think that's the gateway to then leading? Does that naturally evolve you to want to lead and to lead?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because there's various comments that have been made around the world over time. Some people aspire to leadership, right? And there's that common phrase, and for some, leadership is thrust upon them. And I don't think everyone wants to be a leader, but leadership is not about the title, right? It's about who you are and how people perceive you. And people tend to follow you if they perceive you as a leader. So you can be literally a janitor and still be a leader within that organization.
If you discover some deeper purpose that makes you wake up and you feel you're making a difference, I guess.
Precisely. There's the famous story with the whole mission to the moon, right? And the president was touring NASA and came across a janitor and asked him about his job. What is it that you do here? And he was very clearly washing the floors. And he turned and said, I'm helping a man get to the moon. It's just having a different sense of why you are there and what it is your contribution that you're making.
Yeah. So, Owen, how did you discover your purpose? And then you're welcome to tell us what your purpose is. Just kind of spell it out if you can in words or concept or whatever.
For me, it has literally been a lifelong journey, and the roots of it are founded back in 1988, early 1988. Um, I've grown up as a spiritual person, and I had an experience in early 1988 that really set the foundation for me finding what I now consider my purpose. Although at the time I didn't know that. It was something that had happened. It was a blessing I'd received from one of the elders of the church. And embedded in that blessing was what I now define as my purpose. But at the time, for me, it was just a blessing. But in 1995, I came across for the first time the Stephen Covey book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. And I just fell in love with that concept. And over the years, I've tried to implement that as best as what I could, and have had various versions of my mission statement. That was the populist word, I guess, for what we would probably call purpose today. And that mission statement for a very long time was long. It was, a full page. It was very complex. And over the years, I just started to simplify it, break it down into smaller things. And even that process itself, as I was still trying to find what I felt my purpose was, I think just going through that wrestling of trying to make that mission statement something more meaningful to myself was really driving me in the right direction. Things kind of turned in sort of mid 2019 when I came across Simon Sinek for the first time and watched the famous video of, finding your why.
Mm.
And that just struck a very deep chord with me. I just related to that immensely. Several months went by as I struggled to try and really fully grasp, what it was that he was doing. And my first real output that I had from that activity, I ended up implementing in the company that I was at the time the chief financial officer of, excuse me, but also had just recently been appointed president of that company. I introduced a why statement to the company, and that was we significantly improve the quality of life of others. And the way that I presented it is I said, well, how does the janitor significantly improve the quality of life of our customers? And most people in the company said, we don't think that they can do that. They're just the janitor. I
Mm.
said, well, what happens if they don't clean the bathrooms one morning and it's a real mess? And a customer service representative goes in there and it's just horrible. Their feet are sticking to the floor and nothing is clean and it smells. And they then go out and they get on the phone with the customer. How well do you think they're going to treat the customer?
Mm.
And they all agreed that, yeah, probably not that well. So I said, so I guess the janitor really does significantly impact the quality of life of our customers. And so throughout my tenure, then, through various initiatives, this was the rally cry. This is how you do that. But truthfully, that was kind of my embedded why. It was something that I felt that was important. And as I started to continue to refine my mission statement, I went back and I reviewed this blessing that I'd received all the way back in 1988. And it was when I started to put those two together, the Simon Sinek concept of finding your why and Franklin Covey's concept of your mission statement and everything that goes with that. I found this one statement in that blessing that says, "Be a joy and a source of strength and of courage and happiness." And it just hit me. That's my purpose. That's why I'm here. Those are the things that I should be doing. And so that became my purpose or my mission statement. And that's something that I read and look at every single day. And that then drives the activities that I do as I plan my week, as I decide what are the most important things that I can do. It is that statement that really sets the tone for the things that I want to achieve in life.
So, how would you describe the impact of it on your life? And maybe in a way describe what it would be like if you didn't have it. Because a lot of people, they get quite far by just being efficient, well qualified, have a drive, want to be wealthy, whatever. Life can take you quite far positionally, but what's the difference you think it has made in your life when you really nailed it? I mean, you've always been on this journey for years now, but when you really nailed
Right.
it.
It comes down to relationships, right? I mean, we all have careers. We all need money to survive, right? We need homes. We need uh, cars. We need clothing. These are the things that we need to do to survive. But these things mean nothing without relationships. And, as I've gotten older, I've begun to appreciate those relationships so much more. And we live, literally a 24-hour travel time away from our parents. And so having a why statement or a purpose statement like this really drives how often I contact my parents. It drives my how much do I reach out to my siblings. It drives how much do I interact with my children and my spouse. As an example, in this last week, as I considered what can I do that would be most impactful to someone in my family, the thought came to my mind that I needed to have lunch with my son-in-law, and so we did. And so, that really drives the activities that I do. And so the impact is that I found that although family relationships are always difficult at times, it's the thing that helps us get through the challenging times, right? It's the thing that helps us to be able to stay connected and to operate at a level of, your relationship in my life is important to me, so I'm going to do the things that need to be done to ensure that that relationship continues. Um, it's been incredibly impactful as we as a family have gone through some really challenging times, and come out on the other end stronger and better, because of it.
Thank you, Owen. So I think let's maybe end off with your advice to people on how to discover their purpose. Sounds like there's no easy way, right? You've got to take your time and work through it, and maybe when someone's young, they can discover their purpose, but it will mature in time. But what's your advice?
Well, my advice is, and I've given this advice often to folks that find themselves out of a job. I use the trite phrase, "Your new job is to find a job." And and if you don't have a sense of what is my purpose in life, I guess that's your purpose right now, is to find that purpose. And so that's what you need to be doing, each day to figure that out. Now, my purpose, I think, is probably very spiritually based. Others' purpose might be more in their vocation or their career. It might be more based in some charitable pursuit. And some people's purpose might be rooted in, striving to grow a company and be super successful. And all of those are fine. I mean, that's really up to you. But it is a journey that you have to go on. And ultimately, that purpose needs to be thing that drives you for the rest of your life, all the way to the time that you know, close your eyes and don't wake up again. That's the thing that's really given you ultimately the deepest joy. So what is it? Just get up, live your day, but live intentionally every single day. Do things with intention. Don't just mindlessly scroll or just mindlessly go through the day. Be intentional and look for those opportunities that will present themselves, that will show you what it is that you're meant to be doing.
Owen Power, founder and CEO of Owen Bradley Power LLC, fractional CFO. Thank you so much for your time and for discovering your purpose. No doubt you make a difference to everyone around you, professionally, family, and that your life would be very different if you didn't have your purpose. So we commend you for having your purpose and sharing it today.
Thank you for the opportunity, Adrian. It's much appreciated.